Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing this Tuesday evening?
I'm doing pretty good so far. I'm back at school, so it's like wild right now for me. I was happy that we only had one show to review this week. So far so good. I'm about as positive as I can be today. How you doing today, man?
I'm the same thing. I'm feeling school right now. Sun's draining me, but I was kind of happy too. One show is going to fit right in tonight, and we will hit all the spots, but also be able to call it an early night compared to the last couple episodes we've done. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's only one show to review this week. It's a fat 3.5 hour show, though. There were 10 matches on the card. The average match time was over 12 and a half minutes long. And out of those 10 matches, only three were under 10 minutes. So I'd have to say in this one, every match had a solid chance to breathe here. And I think the fans really appreciated that as well.
Yeah. And good crowd too for Talia Hall again. And I thought it was a good for one show this week. I thought it was like strong in ring. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more storytelling and stuff like that, but in ring action was fit right in for that Chicago crowd when all that action, especially with Gringo and Mansa later on. All right,
Just want
so
to say
tonight,
hello to
sorry,
Reed.
go ahead.
Sorry,
Oh,
buddy.
whoa,
We
what's
had
up,
one of
Reed?
our
So
listeners
sorry.
come in.
What's up, Reed? All right, so tonight we are covering GCW's Live Fast, Die Young from Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. And I know, John, you have a cool history on some Talia Hall again, like how we did before in the previous episode. And I'll let you go on with that.
Yeah, just like we used to do the death match minute by minute every now and then, I used to pull out some history on some of the venues when GCW would go to it. So, as Brandon said earlier here, this all went down live from Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. The venue is beautiful, seats are filled. I love the cam on stage. It seems like some epic shots could be taken from that angle, maybe a couple poses from the wrestlers, but I think a huge win would look good when the wrestler like poses towards the cam with all of Talia Hall behind him cheering. But yeah, I rarely share venue history anymore, but I would like to do that tonight as it has been a while. Talia Hall was founded in 1892. It was remodeled after the Prague Opera House in the Czech Republic. Because of how ornate it was, Talia Hall was deemed a protected landmark in 1985. In 1915, the hall was used to draft a bill paving the way for the statehood and birth of the country of Czechoslovakia. So that's the history that I hadn't covered on a previous GCW Plant podcast from a while ago. So we're going to go now into two of the places that are at Talia Hall that you can currently check out. They have a cool backstory. Number one, the Tack Room. Now, 1890s Czech and Russian taverns all had a carriage house where patrons parked their horses. The owner always wanted a piano, but just, I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't have one or couldn't afford it. So this room is still tucked away in like a forgotten corner on the property, and it once housed the owner's horses. So you get a view of Chicago with patio seating, and they finally put a piano in there so you can actually listen to piano playing now. The second room, I wanted to kind of save this one the best for last. There's a cocktail bar serving punch. Punch was brought to Europe by merchant sailors in the mid 1600s. A German business owner had a factory in India and noticed his workers drinking a drink called punch. It comes from the Hindi word punch, meaning five, which represented the five flavors balanced in a proper made punch. That's sour, sweet, strong, weak, and spice. So follow along. Sour was lemon or lime juice. Sweet was sugar. Strong was either a rum or brandy. Weak was generally the water or tea. And spice was nutmeg or cinnamon. So if you look at it, it's water, sugar, lemon or lime juice. That's lemonade. Add rum or brandy. So we're talking, they were getting fucking cranked up on, alcoholic lemonade with some nutmeg or cinnamon in it. So, this drink was used as a technique to water down their rum so they could drink all day while still being at work. The European merchants used punch to extend rum rations so they wouldn't run out, and the boatmen loved constantly drinking. So I wanted to give that little background that's, like always, a little more than everyone asked for, but I thought it was kind of something cool that we could find out that's a little interesting about Talia Hall. Oh, and thank you for the FE rate. I'm just now realizing here. And welcome to Rose as well. The last thing I want to mention, because I think this is important and this is applicable across many venues for GCW, there are staggered seating at Talia Hall. So what I'm saying here is instead of the seats being directly behind each other, the seats are off half. So what I'm saying is instead of having to look around someone's head when you're sitting in the second row, you're actually looking between two people's heads. You're looking at the space between them. So you're not having to bend to look around someone. So I wanted to say, I think that's actually clever. And I feel that that would be great to have at GCW, say in LA, where there's all those rows of seats so people can actually see around each other, especially if someone, may want to sit on the edge of their seats or stand. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. And Emma welcomes us to the show wearing the brand new GCW chain. You going to get one, Brent?
I was about to say hell no, but actually, as I was thinking about it, no, I'd probably hang it up because like my son still has like a Darth Vader in his room, like a 4-foot one. And when we went to one of the WWE shows, we bought him a John Cena, the chain that they got for John Cena. We hung it up on Darth Vader. So Darth Vader's got a Sting mask on, a John Cena chain, and yeah, I might have to add a GCW chain to that because it was only like what, $30, I think. It wasn't too expensive.
I actually bought one. It's going to go on the background in one of these on the wall here somewhere. I just felt it was just a cool thing to have.
Yeah, I was about to laugh it off, and I was like, actually, yeah, I kind of do want one just somewhere in the house as a decorator. I ain't gonna wear one out. Yeah, that's what I guess I was gonna say. Hell no, I would never wear one out. But I definitely do want one to have somewhere in the house.
Rose, I'm talking about some pirates getting cranked up. I mean, come on now, that's totally GCW. All right, here,
and then Blake, I think that's what it is.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I always like to give backgrounds on things. Everybody always says it's cool, it's awesome, but not everybody digs in and finds some history on why the venue was picked and what makes it so interesting. I said, yeah, also, it's highly doubt authentic Indian punch actually looks or tastes like red Hawaiian punch. Well, that's interesting. And then, yeah, Christopher Jones here, Talia Hall, cool place to visit. Yeah, that's everything on my end before we jump on the show. Is there anything you wanted to mention before we get skipping?
Nah, not that I could think of. Nothing really happened too much before going into the show or anything. So yeah, we'll hop right into it. As the first match of the evening was Alec Price going against Bobby Flacco.
All right, so I have here that Alec came out an absolute ball of energy. I feel like as an opener, he's definitely good for business. That cat can just run around the room like crazy. No one can really match that energy. Flacco also getting a great reaction. He's become a regular around GCW these days. I was noting here, it's the battle of the young guys. Neither of them, I felt like, had time to breathe. There were no rest holds here. It was just go, go, go. Alex stayed on fire throughout the match. It's like his natural pace was cranked up about 15% here. There was a really crazy move. It's dangerous and they know it. It's where Bobby ate that turnbuckle where, yeah, we all know that if you've seen the show, if you've seen that match, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Alec then hit the spinning top rope DDT for the win. Again, our winner here, Alec Price. My final little note that I put here is two guys went out there and said they were going to fill 7 minutes with everything they had. And I think they did a damn good job at that. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, I wrote kind of the same thing. I wrote, this is a great opening matchup to kind of start and set the pace for the night and how the rest of the show is going to be and to get the crowd hot right away. As you said, Alec Price's energy. You said unmatched. And I wrote this match, like, yeah, I know what you're saying though. Like his energy is all crazy, but I think Bobby in ring action tonight definitely stepped up to Alec Price's pace, and they delivered like you said, a very fast pace and a lot of stuff in 7 minutes. I didn't even realize it was that short. I just saw the time that you had there, but yeah, it was action packed, and I think Bobby just continues to improve. I'm so happy when I get to see like Bobby Flacco, of course, starting off doing the scrambles and the six man tags, and now he's getting a lot of like cool one-on-one showcase matches in GCW, and he's been delivering every time. So I was really happy to see him stepping up and having a great match to start the night. And I said it was a fun opening match, and yeah, I was more just impressed by Bobby Flacco, like doing an excellent job with Price. I like Price's like outfit. He seemed kind of like different, kind of like rugged. Got the basketball shorts. Like it was a little different look that night. I kind of like the white and black and red look.
I like the energy. If he keeps up that energy on every match, that's going to become a thing, like his thing. Just like how Mansoor goes around and does his thing. You know what? Just send Alec out there like a cat that got his tail caught on fire and just let him run. You know what I mean? So
Yep. All right. Match number. Oh yeah, sorry, real fast. Yeah, we could talk about that later. Great one. I don't
yes.
know. Maybe I didn't even catch it until like the end. I had to turn on my notifications back on for GCW, but yeah, I don't know. Like if if it must be that big a deal. Like I see people talking about it. Like I guess it is because it's changing from Chicago normally, or even last year. I think it was an AC last year, even too, wasn't it? Did they do both in AC last year, both tournaments?
Ooh,
I don't know.
now you're
Right
gonna
off the
make
top of
me
my
look
head, I
that
can't
up.
remember. Yeah, I can't remember where NGI was. If I remember correctly, though, that was in AC as well, because that's where Ciclope or Miedo won, if I remember. Yeah, I don't know.
So
I guess what's going to be interesting with Orlando, like, are they obviously allowed death matches? I didn't know how crazy they kind of got there.
I know how crazy they're gonna get. Drew Parker mentioned a couple minutes after the announcement that he likes Florida. He
Cool.
he just put a nice little, hey, I like Florida. He didn't even retweet the GCW thing. He just put, hey. So yeah. Oh, he said yes, they did. All
Okay.
right, here. He said, I love wrestling, but if I go to Orlando, I need to go for a week. So if there isn't a GCW Invades Halloween Horror Nights, then I don't know. And Rose, yes, last year in AC. Oh my
GCW
goodness.
Halloween Horror Nights, that has to fall on Cardona. If it does not get done, I absolutely will put all the blame on Cardona there.
Dude, I just need a show where all the wrestlers dress up as their favorite wrestler for the night and then they come out. I think that would be fantastic.
Didn't Speedball do something like kind of that recently? Maybe not full on characters like that, but didn't he like wrestle? Like I thought there was like not a promotion, but like they did like a one night thing where everybody wrestled in like costumes and stuff. I thought that was pretty fun seeing that. Yeah, spring break. Okay. Okay. So I didn't think about that. I see it now.
And Orlando has a huge deathmatch scene, and that had a huge deathmatch scene.
There we go. All right. I guess we do got a lot to talk about later. All right. I want to learn a lot more later on from you guys about this move for NGI. I didn't think it was that kind of crazy
This
deal.
Is fucking. Oh yeah, man. This is going to be a badass thing. And again, it's NGI, so everybody's excited about blood. This is where Rich Ransom. Hello, awesome. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I want to be educated later. So yeah, I want to hear all the stuff, all the comments about NGI in Orlando later on for sure.
Oh hell yeah!
All right. Match number 2 was Joey Janela going against Griffin McCoy. I'll be respectful now, but I ain't gonna be respectful in a little bit. With what Joey was calling him. With what Joey was calling Griffin, I thought it was pretty funny.
Okay. So I wrote here that Griffin came out. He gets heat, but I don't know if it's the regular cooperative GCW fan booing because you're a heel or if it's more like a go away heat. Either way, he's eliciting a response from the fans. Like Kane, I'd put a mask on McCoy and keep him heel. Don't take that in any wrong kind of way. But my wife was like, you know what? Put a mask on him, because with the way he asks, he could be a real asshole, and it would probably be one hell of a character for him to try.
I ain't gonna lie, you said Mask and Kane. I just thought of like, because his face, he kind of does have like one of those punchable faces when he does that little shit-eating smile that he's got.
That's the good and bad. Yeah.
I would paint him up like the Joker right now. I just see him like as a Joker paint face and kind of doing the sadistic stuff with the smile on his face more than Kane. That's what I thought of right when you said Mask right there.
Yep. And great ones right there.
Okay, most punchable faces. Exactly.
I know.
That's what I was thinking. Like, let's keep it so that way they can see it. But like, just imagine like Jack Nicklaus in that Joker. You just wanted to punch the shit out of that little smile that he had there.
Oh my gosh. I am not a popular guy tonight. Well, no, what I'm saying is not very popular, and that's perfectly fine. I wrote here also that I think Joey is back to working with more of like the mid to lower level talent again, and after that fantastic championship storyline. And that's perfectly fine because he works really well there. And I'm not going to lie about that. He also laid some heavy chops on McCoy that lit up his chest. I only mentioned that because if you go back and look, he popped him pretty good there. With almost 11 minutes in this match, we had our winner, Joey Janela. I put this was more of an atypical, like a vanilla match for a number 2. Generally, GCW really fires off hard on number 2, and this is more one of those ones where it was more like, let's bring everything back to wrestling. And not gonna lie, not bad.
Yeah, uh
Thought I lost
sorry,
you, bud.
no, I was hearing something going on there. There was 2 points. I'll bring up the one before I lose it. I
Sure.
do want to talk about after I quickly do my review. I want to talk about because this I brought it up later on with Blake Christian, but I get and you made a kind of a point there. Like, what does Joey do after now that he's not in the title scene? I think this is like it brought up like we could talk about the same thing with Joey right now too.
Yes.
I don't mind Joey working with like talent like Griffin McCoy's and those because I think he does elevate them, and obviously like it's a big showcase match for people like them. So I'm right there with you. I think Joey always can fit that mold and have those kind of matches with these kind of people, and I think that kind of fits him good at certain points. And all right, so real fast, I wrote I laughed too hard when Joey when this match was announced. Joey asked if he was being sent to developmental after losing the ladder match, the title. I didn't want to call Griffin McCoy a developmental talent during that intro, but I thought that was hysterical from
Right.
Joey Janela. But hey, it also like I mean, Brett always said after you lose the title match, there's no immediate rematch clause. There's no like you get like you lose the belt, you always go back to the end of the line. And I mean that's what Joey's at right now. He's at the end of the line right now in GCW going against Griffin McCoy after that ladder match. I don't mind it. Like it just Brett's kind of always said that thing, and he kind of always keeps it true when it comes to booking like that. So I actually kind of don't disagree though. I thought this was another match where McCoy showed a lot of improvement. And I thought I actually kind of thought this was better than what I was expecting going in. I think Griffin McCoy saw all those comments and like, hey, I'm going to show you fuckers. And I think he stepped up and delivered a really good match as a heel in this one. And I just think he showed improvement. I actually enjoyed this match way more than I thought I would originally.
Okay, I'll just post it. The gatekeepers. Who's the key master? Effie.
I missed that part.
Effie is the key master. You ever remember 80s Ghostbusters?
Oh, is that Zool? Is that what they're talking about with Zool?
Remember? Okay, so he's the key master and the gatekeeper from Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. Where don't worry about it.
I'm about to say I don't remember it.
Yeah, my inner 80s kid. He's an 80s kid also, so I get that right there. Yeah, our winner was Joey Janela. Yeah, almost 11-minute match. Not bad, but yeah, I think we're back in that spot now where Joey's like, okay, let's see what we can pull out of Griffin, and they went out there and did.
Yeah, I think that was a good like way to kind of help build up Griffin too. What was Brett on commentary during this match, or was he only on commentary during that one match later on?
I don't have it in my notes, honestly.
Okay. I should have made a note too. But whoever did commentary did a great job, I think, of like and maybe elevating it in my head with like the close calls, the near finishes, and stuff like that. Like I don't know, like I just whoever was on commentary made me feel like holy shit, like Griffin's out here to prove something. Like Griffin's like not is kind of taking this personally and has a point to prove against Joey. Like after being in the big homecoming title match, like commentary did a great job during this match. I forgot who the names were. I apologize. I should have put it in there, but they did a great job, I think, of elevating that match in my mind, at least.
Give me 1 second here. Nope, that was all I had to say about that one. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. All right. Our third matchup was and I lost this. I don't know what I hit.
You're good, buddy. I got you. Our third matchup here was a tag team match. We had one called Manders and Sawyer Wreck versus the team of Bang and Matthews.
All right, I got to refresh. Nope, hold on. I hit the wrong button, I think. There we go.
You're good, man.
Nope. There we go. My fault. My phone, I knocked over my phone on the notes and it hit my keyboard and it hit something. I didn't know what the hell was going on. My fault, guys. Sorry about that.
No sweat. And I just sent an invite out. Fingers crossed here. There we go. Good to know. You all right, buddy?
Yeah, right. That's what happened. I was like, wait, is it just me on the screen when you were continuing on? I was like, what the hell just happened?
All right, now back to all the professionalism and then some over here at Game Changer Weekly. Right. So I'll go ahead into the notes that I had for this next match. I have Chicago's own Bang and Matthews, introduced by local announcer Kirby. Both teams play into the fact that Bang and Matthews are a lot smaller than Manders and Sawyer. Are Manders and Sawyer a new team? Is something I want to talk about here once I'm done there. Bang and Matthews should have just tagged in Perch for assistance. They got their asses kicked all throughout that match. Sawyer talking ref Dan Perch into participating in a chicken fight, I thought was kind of interesting. I put our winners here in a 14-minute banger was one called Manders and Sawyer wreck. I'm going to stop right there. Was there anything else you wanted to say before I was going to ask you about that Sawyer and Manders team?
My first note, I kind of like the idea of Manders and Sawyer being a tag team and challenging for the titles. That's literally my first note there when they came out. I was like, oh, I like it. They had a good feel, obviously, as a tag team, and the crowd, obviously, with Sawyer Wreck being back and Manders being on the role that he's in. And that was a good time to ride that hot streak with them going as a tag team. But I also wrote match wise, they both had different styles, but both teams played each other's roles well during this match. I liked how there were times sometimes the Bang Bros wanted to do all the strong style that and the Manders and the choke slam and the strongness or the strength of Manders and Sawyer, and then you saw Manders and Sawyer sometimes kind of have some fun and do some flippy shit as well. And I just thought this was once again another great showcase of the depth of all the tag teams that GCW has been having as of late. And I am 100% behind Manders and Sawyer challenging and going after Violence is Forever or staying together as a tag team and working some stuff. I think they provide a lot of good depth there, and they're just as versatile and could have a bunch of cool, crazy matches with a bunch of different teams and different kinds of matchups as well.
Sure wouldn't mind seeing Manders and Sawyer as a team, but they need a name. Anybody want to subject a name, or submit a name by all means. I had to think about that one. I couldn't come up with one that was funny.
I got one with Cole Radrick.
What you thinking?
Wreck shit Manders, but I don't know with Cole. I don't know. I went with Cole Radrick and Manders, but not Sawyer. I couldn't think of one.
I love how they fuck with names. Yeah, I don't have anything for that one. Reed Harris just put no. Manders and Sawyer have been a team for almost yeah. So he said here, did commentary mention that they're a couple? Great question.
I think so. I'm not 100%. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't catch it.
That's a good trios name. So there you go. You've got one vote in for you right there, Brent.
Yeah. So like Sawyer, like wreck with like, yeah. Okay. You got it. Okay. At first I didn't even get it at first when I said, I'm like, oh, I guess I did add trios with Sawyer wreck. I wasn't even thinking about that.
All right.
Yeah. But what do you think? What would you do with them as a tag team right now? Would you like kind of start building them up for Violence? Like, I don't know. I just want to see like a feud for Violence is Forever. And like one of these new teams, like would be I'm tired of just seeing championships being defended on one-offs. Like I get it at certain points, but like I just would like to see a rivalry built up. And man, the tag division so strong. I know Brett always says like, why does people always say about the tag tournament? Like we don't need one. Like you don't need one, but the audience is calling for one right now. And it's just, you have a lot of tag teams, and Manders and Wreck would be one that I would like to see. Like they could have those kind of style matchups that Macizo's had with Violence is Forever. And I think it gives a different challenge for them. What do you think?
I'm trying to think of the team that would really give them a credible threat. I think with a couple months, and I know that's a long time in independent world, but with a couple months of Manders and Sawyer maybe just being booked in dominance, that making a march towards Violence is Forever would probably be a natural step forward. Right now, I don't know. It seems like Violence is Forever, like you're saying, more one-off, and you're wanting more of a storyline, more of a series here. Is there
in GCW as of late?
Do you feel there's a team that's booked that strongly or can really see? I would have said Los Macizos, but again, they've done everything, and Ciclope's story right now is awesome.
But I think that's the point. They're not building any tag team. They're just putting willy-nilly matchups and just picking a random. Like I just feel like they're not trying to build up a tag team. They're just putting cool matchups together. Let's put these two teams and have a cool matchup. And that's always cool. We love seeing those matchups. But I just think for the tag titles, I just would like to see teams being built with wins. And hey, this was a close fight, and Violence is Forever is feeling threatened, and they come out. Like the stories have worked in GCW. I hate to say it, like it's worked. That's what carried Homecoming, in my opinion. And I just like the tag division right now is one I would love to see. Like I know when Brett says like we don't need a tournament, but then I agree, like we don't need one, but man, it would be so cool to see just a independent tag team in GCW, especially a tournament going on, to find new contenders and start building up that story. And then like that's what I love about JCW. They tell stories every single match and throughout the tournament, how each match interferes and like rolls over to the next one and everything. Like I don't know. I think that this every time I see new tag teams come up and show up and deliver, I just would love to see tag teams being built with a purpose.
Speaking of purpose here, I just wrote also that Sawyer just became bad. She just came back as a feel-good face, and Manders is on fire as a face. So they're sent out to beat the local favorites, which that's what heels are supposed to mostly do. So the only thing was I was thinking, well, maybe this is about dominance, but dominance doesn't take 14 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So I think they just wanted to have a showcase in this one.
And that's what I feel they're always doing with the tag divisions when it's not violence is forever. I don't like you put it right there perfectly. And like, I think that's what they should be doing with these titles. Like Manders and Sawyer are as hot as can be right now. Why not get the tag titles on someone hot and start building it and having momentum with the tag division scene? This is not a knock on violence is forever. They've had great matchups. And once again, I feel like they're getting kind of like the Blake booking with the titles. Like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, is talented, and we love that. Like, I love that team too, and I feel like that was so cool the run that they've had. But since, like, I want to say maybe Los Macizos, since then it just feels like those tag titles have frozen and gotten cold. Where I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of rooting for a new winner just to start seeing some new momentum and shit going in that tag division. After seeing what can happen with the world title scene, I would love to see that in the tag title scene for sure.
Great one, I think, is dead on here. They wanted to put Rec and Manders over, but didn't want to squash the Bangs, who are both local and quasi-regional.
Perfect.
Yep, quasi-regional. Just announced. I wanted to just tell everyone here, this was announced just a couple minutes ago. GCW coming back to Los Angeles Saturday, October 19th, Blood on the Hills 3. There you go. That's 8 p.m. Saturday night. Good old UCC. So there we go, everyone. I don't know when tickets will go on. Oh, I'll let you know that right now too. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. I do assume that would be, I would say, East Coast time generally. So just set alarms if that's going to be 10 a.m. for the East Coast, and then that's 7 on the West Coast. Then if you're a Patreon subscriber, the top 2 tiers get pick of tickets a day early. So that's just letting you know the norm for those people who are in Patreon. But yeah, if you really want to get tickets to that, that's the way to get them early on, like a pre-sale. But yeah, again, Blood on the Hill, Saturday, October 19th, and tickets go on sale this Friday. Rock and roll. That's another great thing. It just came out right now, so I figured I'll just mention it to you. There's there's 700 of us in here right now, so I figured I'd just mention it to everyone. He said the GC Twitter are watching. GCW Twitter fans are always watching. Got to watch.
I think he mentioned like the actual like GCW since they reposted our stuff. Like, I think that's what he meant.
Hey, and that's highly appreciated. You know,
hey, that's a good time to make these announcements while we're live and get like you got people on and watching. Might as well like on Twitter make those announcements and get that early engagement with people that are on.
And I was going to send a message to you, Brant. If you could send a message over to Brett, send an invite over to Brett. Okay. Just so you know, because I just sent something over, but I don't know if he saw it. So if you could, please. Normally I wouldn't say that live, but just private chat. It's just a pain in the ass. I'll just tell you right now. All right. Gotcha. So while you're doing that, do you want me to just rip into this next match here, or do you want to announce it? And
I'll announce it real fast and I'll send it off. Fourth matchup. Oof, this was a good one too. Yeah, I definitely have a lot to talk about this one. Fourth matchup was Zilla Vatu versus Blake Christian.
All right, yeah, a 17-minute match. According to my notes, this was the first time that Brett and Dave had a chance to sit down together and really talk. And the only reason I know that was because they were talking about this imported Italian door that was used in the ring. Blake was expressing doubt after losing his championship. That was quite obvious. He had his head down quite a bit. He was, moping, obviously lost a lot of his mojo, and he's going to have to do something to bring it back. That kind of goes right in line with what I was saying. I think we were both talking about this, where we need to see a new side of Blake, and we're looking forward to that in whatever way that is, because I feel like this last seen everything that Blake is capable of. And so I'm looking to see more. Let's see here. I wrote down that it was a huge match for Zilla, especially having so little. I mean, I think he just took on a 14-minute match before this one at the previous show the weekend before.
Right?
So
yeah.
So, of course, this thing was a brawl. Asshole chance when Blake attempted to snap Zilla's arm. An excellent black hole slam by Zilla. Once again, I'll just say it took time to construct a door bridge. Blake could have pinned him and been halfway to the back in the time that it took. Maybe some ring crew could help, or maybe set up some tables or chairs like right up against the ring or something. But maybe just the wrestler says, hey, I need 2 chairs and a door. And then the ringside just grabs them and slides them in the ring. But a Samoan drop through a door bridge was the only other thing I wanted to mention there. 17 minutes, our winner over Blake Christian, Zilla Fatu. Zilla pushes, that Zilla push continues. And again, Blake just kept expressing doubt after this. So I think that's the bellwether for when we have some type of change is coming.
All right, real fast. I might have missed all these things with him expressing doubt and teasing like a character change. Like, so he was like, so he was actually doing that. You didn't? Okay, I didn't see that. So that's why when I saw that written twice, I'm like, oh, I got to go back and catch that. I didn't see him kind of doing that.
He entered the match and he kind of had his head down and, just kind of like a broke dick dog. Like, he lost his championship that he'd held for a year and a quarter or more. And, he just wasn't himself. And then finally it clicked and it was time to wrestle. And then after the match, he went right back to this. I don't really know. So,
that's the part I caught right there. Like, I didn't catch that. I didn't see that. I was like, oh, like that. I guess I could have started putting 2 and 2 together. I like it. As we were saying, you mentioned too, we'll see what happens now with him being outside the title scene. And that guy kind of after I do my quick review too, I wrote in here, like the same thing I brought up with Joey, like what, and we kind of discussed this a little bit last time, but what should be happening?
Rosé's on Blake some shit tonight.
I'm about to say Rosé might have had that pants going tnight. He's on the rampage over here. I love it.
Rum and lemonade.
I love it. All right, so real fast I wrote before I even get into what I wrote, I just love how Zilla is getting now these good technical, like not even technical, but just strong in-ring matches against Speedball and Blake. Like those are like he is just showing his versatility and it's awesome. And this is what the shit he needs to see and be able to keep up with someone like Speedball and Blake's pace. And he definitely showed out here in this match as well, like he did with Speedball. But I was really looking forward to this. I thought I was interested to see what happens with Blake outside of the title scene. I expected this to be an awesome match, but holy shit. Okay. So Brett did the commentary for this match. That's what I remember now. But I was like, holy shit, this might have been the show stealer. And I'm cool with that because this showed me that Blake is not done proving himself to Brett and to the fans and trying to get back into contention for the title belt. Because I mean, with performances like that was like, to me, I felt like a personal, like, hey, I'm not the title holder. I'm going to now go right back into it just as strong and earn and fight for that title and show you like that title should have stayed on me. And I love that kind of fire in Blake because that performance by Blake was awesome. And it just shows like, hey, like when he wrestles like that, he wants to be the one representing your company as world champion and with matches like this. And that's kind of what we were getting. Like he's kind of, to me, fighting back into the world title scene, in my opinion. I just thought that was a statement making match. I know I'm harping on Blake here, but from the big takeaway for me was Blake not happy with losing the title and just going crazy. But Zilla, as Great One said, that finisher was sick. Blake sold the shit out of it as well. Zilla has held his own with Speedball and Blake matchups and with anybody you throw in front of him. And his improvement in matches like this, I think, is a big deal because like those are kind of now where wrestling's kind of going with wrestlers like Blake and Speedball and kind of those high-paced kind of matchups where go, go, go. I think that's really good for him to kind of start learning and performing. And right now, by the time he gets called up in the future, the business will have changed, I think, from maybe a little bit of this storyline, which his family is rocking and killing it right now. Maybe by the time he gets called up, it will be a little different version of the bloodline in ring action by that time.
I don't know, man. We just got to enjoy him for as long as we can. That's my only feeling on that, because he could get the call tomorrow and he's off to training. So, I mean, that's where he's at. You can already tell he's got enough of a gift there to where they're probably going to want to make sure he has the proper building blocks and whatnot. So get him on tape at GCW as long as possible, because it could be any day now. And we're fortunate to have him.
And I'm loving, like I said, those matchups. Like, these are the matchups I want to see him in. I don't want to see him, no offense, against a local in Chicago. Like, I didn't want to see like a Robert. No offense to Robert Anthony, he would have made him look really good, like as a character. But these are the matchups I want to see him do with these good high paced matchups. And I just love how he's answering the bell every single time. Yeah, to me, I think Brett did a great job on commentary, overhyping the shit out of this matchup too. I was feeling his energy, and I got into the moment, and yeah, that was a really, really good match. And to me, it felt like I said, good luck following that one. Blake's like sending a message there.
I think that's a good place. Uh-oh. Did somebody else say something here?
Yeah, what did Christian do to you, Rose? Did
Oh.
he steal your candy?
I'll tell you what, though, Blake loves HBK a lot. So, I mean,
yeah,
you would see where that kind of influence would come in there for sure. So, all right. Yeah, chat is going. I love it. All right. Yeah, that was it for that one.
All right. Match number 5 was, as we were talking about earlier, for the GCW tag team titles, as it was Violence is Forever going against the team of Mother, Father, Dark Sheik, and Effie.
Mother, Father walking out, and we're getting overwhelming slut chants from the crowd. Also, I noticed we haven't seen Allie, and she's not showing any GCW dates for the next 2 months. I don't know anything past that, so who knows? And I don't want to speculate because I know it feels kind of weird, but she did have other dates out there. And if this was a call up of some sort, those dates probably wouldn't be there either. You never know. And again, I'm just going with what I'm kind of, I'm just telling you, I don't see him. I don't know anything past that. And I wouldn't want to say that I do. Kevin Koo got snapped with a big rubber band. Greeny was pulling Ref Perch out of the ring while he's counting for 3. Greeny still covered Sheik for 3, and they retain our winners here. Violence is Forever. The fans did not like it at all.
That's kind of what I was saying. Yeah.
What you thinking?
That's kind of what I was saying. Like, it seems like the fans are feeling like even the tag titles are cold, and like, this is not a shot at Violence is Forever. I just think it's like booking wise, like you're not building and getting fans invested one way or the other into Violence is Forever and whoever else is in their title scene, other than showcasing good tag team matchups. So, yeah, the fans booing, I kind of caught that. And that's what kind of made me go on my little, once again, tag team rant earlier. I was happy to see Effie and Sheik get a shot at the tag belts. I just want to see something new for the tag team titles. Mother Father would be an awesome tag team. There'd be a lot of cool new matchups, and they would be doing a lot of good stuff as a tag team. And they've been busting their ass and nerd it too. I would love to see them. I would love to see them kind of pull up the upset tonight and kind of do something new after Homecoming to shock the fans instead of lulling us into only these big time things or title changes or things happen at big shows. I was kind of hoping for a cool little surprise here in Chicago. I wrote it was interesting stylistically, the matchups between Violence is Forever and Mother Father, and I liked how they meshed well together during the match. Both teams showed that they're great. Both teams showed great will. I loved all the close falls in this match, but Violence is Forever successful with another tag team title defense. I love how they're always praising it's like one of the longest tag team titles and the most defensives and stuff. Like, that's hyping it up, but to me, it's just not feeling like it's as hot as it was before, I guess. Is my opinion. It is my kind of overall take on it.
You know what? We haven't seen as much either lately, so that's kind of an interesting thing. I'm looking right now just to see how many matches. So sorry. They've had 22 title defenses, which not too shabby. Since their first title defense was November 17th of last year. So, I mean, they've only had the titles, 10 months? 9-10 months? So,
I mean, it feels like a long time. And like I said, it
felt
important at the time, and I was excited, but then it just kind of died off.
I think the Los Macisos injury kind of killed the Macisos push that was going to, I think, carry the titles for a little while longer. But, they were running with, one flat tire all the time. Unfortunately, those guys were killing themselves out there.
I'll be honest, the way they came out in LA, like that didn't look like the same Violence is Forever. That looked like something was going on. They weren't like enjoying themselves. I mean, maybe they were just dreading going into the match with Bad Dude Tito and I forgot the other guy's name. I won't say Rojas, but I forgot the other guy's name. But like, maybe they were just dreaded what kind of battle they were about to get into with them. But like, I just felt the energy wasn't there that night. And then even that night, I was like, maybe this might be the night. They're kind of showing like, hey, we're getting kind of tired and or not tired, but beaten down or worn down defending these belts against all these different tag teams. Yeah, I know. Kevin Koo had the injury bug and a bunch of stuff going on at that time as well. So I know that stuff was factored in, but like just the body language for me with Violence Forever has felt a little down and off compared to usual. So I don't know. I love Shea Cabrera. I always forget that name. I love him too. He's so awesome. I always want to say his nickname.
GCW fans love feel good, and right now the tag titles don't feel, they feel a little down. Guarini comes out and his shoulders, like he doesn't feel like he even wants to be there, and that kind of is like, come on, man. I mean, we're enthusiastic for you.
Well, I get that was like at the beginning, that was kind of like their character. They're like, hey, we're fucking here.
Right.
But like, we don't have to be here. We could be doing other shit. Like, we're choosing to be here, but we don't really
want to
be here.
That.
We want to get
it.
Yeah. And like, that was the character.
I'm cool with that. Like, bro, I don't know. I just want service with a smile. I want service with a smile. And if not with a smile, then you better give me the meanest, baddest motherfuckers you got. I don't want to sing your song and then boo you. I don't want no half-ass shit. Either you bring the whole fucking thing or you don't. And they've always been a curveball for me. And that's kind of because, again, just like Los Macisos, barely any mic work. But you know what? Their personalities put them over. And so I felt like absolutely. And Violence is Forever is a solid team. They know exactly what they're doing. I'm just saying you go from Los Macisos that Ciclope was really starting to take off, which we're going to talk about here a little later. But the team as a whole, because of that, was definitely taking off. So, oh yeah, Kev is just in the background here. Good to see you, man. Kev just had a rough one, so it's nice to see you on here, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Kev, man. Appreciate it, bro.
So I don't know. I'm ready for a little more excitement, and that's nothing personal. It's just, everybody else looks happy to be there. And so I'm like, well, what are we building?
Yeah, I'm the same. I just, like I said, no, and you said no shot at Violence is Forever. I love them coming in. They were strong.
You really do. You really do. Like, you're a big fan of Violence is Forever, right? You're not.
I was calling them before we even started the podcast when we first kind of like I saw them first live and in person when we kind of went to that collective weekend. Like, they were something else, and I was calling for them for a long time. When they were finally showed up, like, I was excited. And like I said, this is nothing on them. I think it was a lot of booking. I think like throughout the title defenses and stuff, but as you said, now it's kind of like turning into the energy and the fans and booing. Like, that's not good. Yes, they're heels, but I think it was a different kind of booing than what we're normally used to booing for a team beating Effie and Sheik.
And GCW fans also like sizzle. Are we getting a lot of sizzle here?
Not as of late, yeah. And in my opinion.
And yeah, because I don't want to speak for you. You know what I'm just saying, like, we're used to more. We're used to mic work. Well, there's no mic work. We're used to flips and flying. There's no flips and flying. We're used to personality and smiling and crowd interaction. We're not really getting that. We are used to having like a kind of a cool opening. They do have that. But, there's no flair in the clothing that they choose and stuff. So it's like, it's a very, my wife, again, she said they just do. There's no flair. They do. And I think that's fair if you're trying to get the job done, but fans aren't there to watch someone just get the job done. Fans are there to watch someone get the job done and look like they're enjoying themselves. And, it's a party. And that was what was told to us from day one, is going to one of these shows, man, it's always a party. And if you don't feel like you want to be there, don't be there, because the rest of us are so excited to see these matches go down. A lot of us have hardly any money and save our hard-earned money to go to one of these shows. And like, dude, if you're going to droop ass, get out. That's sad to say. That's very opinionated. I'm so sorry. But like, It's been 8-9 months now, man, and I haven't seen anything from it that separates it from any other title, and I don't see anything that's going to be memorable from it. I feel like they were placeholders for someone who's more popular that hopefully will come along one day, where Jacob and Zilla may have been, the title.
That's right. I think that was the plan at Collective as well, and that's fine. Like I still think that between that and now, something could have been done, should have been done, and something cool could have happened. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But we'll see. I'll still call for some newness in the tag team division unless I see something different here. All right. Match number 6 was Mustafa Ali going against Sidney Akeem.
I have here, welcome back, Mustafa Ali. His last appearance at GCW was his debut for GCW. He first appeared at No Compadre on January 12th this year, where he beat Gringo Loco in an almost 21-minute main event at Talia Hall. Sidney Akeem walks into this match 7-0 in singles competition. I will stop right there. Looks like me and Brant are in trouble. Do you have a background real quick, Brant?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
1 second there. We've got a guest with us tonight here. I want to make sure we.
All right, here we go. Oh, that is.
I don't believe that's us, my friend.
Let's go here. What? Oh, they have that in the background. That's why I got to change the background to that. There we go. You didn't like our new outlook there?
Sorry about this. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Hello.
Well. Welcome to the
How you
show,
doing, Brett
Lauderdale. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic this evening.
Were you just talking about Sydney?
Yeah, we're just starting that match right now. That was the matchup we were doing next.
Sydney's awesome.
He has been killing it. It's been awesome to see. And the matchups you guys have been putting him in has been, and this one was especially just perfect fitting for him and the way to showcase everything he's done outside of WWE.
Yes. I think his WWE run was just like it wasn't even a scratch the surface, you know? It was just like yeah, I don't even know. I don't even what comes below scratching the surface. I don't even know what that is. But he's one of the most. Yeah, he's like definitely one of the most physically talented, physically gifted performers that I've seen in some time.
How the ball was dropped on him, I have no idea, because once the training wheels was kicked off, boy, can he go.
Yeah, he's always had it. He just needed a chance to actually do it. So this is his chance.
Yeah.
What
Sidney
were your
Akeem,
thoughts? Sorry.
No, you're good, man. I was just saying he ran into this match 7-0. So I mean, he's on a run right now, and the fans are solidly behind him.
Yeah, what's not to like? He's exciting to watch. He's very charismatic. He's humble, and you can tell he's excited. And you know, that stuff, that kind of energy is contagious. So it's fun to root for him.
Brett, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Ali promo afterwards. That was one of the strongest promos I've seen, putting over kind of like one of the main purposes of why GCW is around and so important in the independent scene. And the way he put over Sydney as well was awesome. And I haven't seen a promo like that in GCW in a little bit. What were your thoughts on what Ali said about Sydney and the company as well?
Yeah, I didn't know what he was going to say. I had a feeling that he might say something, but I didn't know what he was going to say. Yeah, so I wasn't sure where he was going with it for a second, but yeah, you could tell he was very, he was very passionate in what he did have to say, and yeah, I mean, it was. I kind of feel like you know, what he said, he was kind of speaking for many, you know, for a lot of people, not just about Sydney, but it was just kind of like the right place and right time to say what, you know, what he did say. And yeah, I mean, it's cool it's, you know, you want to be you want to work with people who are passionate like that and who are hungry like that and who care like that. So you know, yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You know, it was cool to see, and people definitely felt it. You know, they felt what he had to say, and I know Sydney definitely appreciated it. So it was cool to see.
Yeah, he did more in 2 minutes of talking than he could have possibly done in the next 5 minutes of wrestling. By
Yeah,
far.
no, that was a good line that he used, and it was true. I mean, it was, it was just, I guess it was something that you needed to be said, and he was the guy to say it at the right time. So it was cool.
So I'm just looking here real quick. I was wondering, is there a possibility of Sydney and Speedball down the road?
Yeah, there's
Just a
definitely a
personal
possibility.
ask.
No, there's definitely a possibility, and I think there's a lot of really exciting matchups still out there that haven't happened yet when it comes to Sydney. So, I think again, we are just getting started, and I think I think he still has a lot to show us. So hopefully we get a chance to see it all before he inevitably moves on again, which I think will happen.
And it said a lot. Oh, I'm so sorry, bud. Your turn this one.
No, I was gonna say I think that's been really cool as of late, seeing talent like Fuego del Sol, Sydney. I don't want to say Blake because Blake's kind of always been in that rotation, but seeing these guys that kind of didn't get the chance originally show up to GCW, make a name for themselves, and kind of elevate their status and then earn their way back to Ring of Honor and whatever promotions. And I think that's been really cool seeing like Sydney get an opportunity after killing in GCW to showcase in Ring of Honor. Same thing with Fuego del Sol as well. I think that's been really cool. That's been happening in GCW as of late.
Yeah, well, GCW has always been kind of like that platform for guys who needed a platform. So, no, I'm happy to keep that going and continue to, you know, cultivate that reputation and continue to be that opportunity for guys such as Sydney and those like him.
I also wanted to mention the really important part that Ali said at the very end of this, where he said that wrestlers in locker rooms are watching GCW. That quiet part I felt needed to be heard out loud by fans.
No, for sure. And I know that to be true. I know that wrestlers in the locker rooms are watching it. The people who are in charge of those locker rooms are watching it. It's just a fact of the business and the nature of the business. It's there's nothing minor league about GCW, but when it comes to finding the next big things or the next big stars, it's inevitably going to come from a place like GCW. That's literally just that's the evolution of being a wrestler and the wrestling business. GCW is if not the top independent promotion, it's one of them. And there's this is where guys are coming to get better or to reestablish themselves. So if you're looking to see what's going on outside of your home, meaning if you're in WWE and you want to know what's going on outside of WWE, you put on GCW, and that's where you can see what's next or what else is out there. And people are watching.
To have space for a talent like JBL, also kudos for that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Guys like JBL know that they can come here to GCW and have a little fun, do stuff that they never got to do before, and do it in a place where they know they're going to be taken seriously and treated, and presented in a way that fits their reputations, or I don't know what the right word is, protects their reputation, or I don't know. I guess a place where they can have fun and do right, without getting without worrying about I guess without being unsure of what they're getting into,
Yeah. With the NGI announcement, is there anything that else we could elaborate on or expand on from that announcement?
Well, I think NGI is going to be good. I think that we're going to see a different lineup this year. I think we're going to see some newer faces, or at least in the tournaments, the newer deathmatch tournament faces for GCW. And
Really?
I think so. At least off the top of my head, the names that I'm thinking of uh, have not. I mean, they're not the same people, you know. So I think that's always fun, and I mean, we're going to see a couple returning faces also, which is good. Some international talent, the usual things that set GCW's deathmatch tournaments apart from the rest.
Excellent.
I'm excited just off of that announcement of some new faces. That right there has got me excited. Looking forward to NGI.
Yes.
I saw Drew Parker alluded to the fact that he really likes Florida. He said nothing more about that, but he did say he loved Florida.
Well, if you were somebody who paid close attention.
Oh, like we kind of lost him.
Yep. The minute we hit 1,000 viewers.
Right.
I'm here.
Yeah, it is.
My
Oh,
hair.
there we go.
Yep, you're
I
good.
hear you, bro.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, if you're the type that pays close enough attention to to see Drew Parker comment on Florida, you could probably put two and two together. So, you know, without any spoilers, you would be your inference could be on the right track.
What are the possibilities of getting someone like Chris Brooks to do one of these tournaments?
I think the possibilities are decent. The one thing with like a guy like Chris Brooks is he's so damn busy in Japan. And DDT is so prolific that they basically have to get time off. Because you can't just. It's not like when you're traveling from Japan, it's not the same as traveling from taking a flight from Las Vegas to Orlando and back the next day. Really coming for one show is really, you're coming for it's 3 or 4 days, that are tied up when you come for one show to the United States. So, I don't know, it's just, it's not like impossible or anything. It just requires a little planning and a little convenient, a little, what's the word? I don't know, I guess a little luck in the scheduling.
Yeah. Oh, do you have another one, John, or no?
Oh, no. I was going to let you fly for a minute before I went into anything else here.
No, Chris Brooks and Mao are like the big ones I've been loving it from DDT and whenever they are in here GCW, and those are kind of two names I've been calling for as of late to show up in one of these deathmatch tournaments. And I just always any information I could get on those two always piques my interest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 1,000 of us in here right now. I know that more of the foreign talent is Brant's wheelhouse, so I wanted to make sure any of those questions got out of the way before we went any further here. The way this match went, though, our winner here, complete draw. So Sydney's streak still stays intact at 7-0 and 1 right now, and we got a lot more out of this than just a match. So I think this was extremely well done from both wrestlers.
Yeah, they killed it, and they definitely provided the exciting match that I knew was going on. And I really just loved that promo from Ali, just putting over GCW as well as he did, as well as putting over. I saw the name in the chat. I almost said it. Sydney put him over very well. I enjoyed that heartfelt promo from Ali. Oops, here we go.
What are you looking at, bud?
Oh no, I was sorry. Reading some of the comments here from the chat.
Okay, so yeah, Sam Stackhouse came in. GC Dub, baby. We have Nick Manawa coming in. Much love, y'all. Let's see. Rose asks, when is the October AC tickets going on sale? By any chance, do you know that, Brett?
Maybe this Friday. We'll see. Waiting on some graphics and waiting for the showboat to send over a hotel link, actually. So if those things fall into place tomorrow, then they'll go on sale this Friday. If they don't fall into place till tomorrow, then it'll be next. If they do not fall in place tomorrow, then it will be next week.
And just as everyone who was listening earlier had found out, those LA tickets will be going on sale this Friday also. So we've got a lot of things going on in GCW land right now. Oh my goodness.
A lot going on, and a lot right around the corner. It's all a lot of big stuff's gonna be coming very soon.
I got one question. You might not be able to answer it. I don't know. It just came in my mind, and I've been kind of seeing some chatter on it. If you can't answer it, perfectly fine. With Triller TV, I've seen some other kind of companies mentioning that they're backing out of Triller TV or not going to be showing their shows there. Is there any word or update on GCW? Is everything good there still with Triller, or just kind of any information on what I've kind of seen with that?
Well, I think that I've possibly discussed this here with you guys, and I've certainly discussed this on the official GCW podcast throughout the GCW Patreon, and I've discussed it on a couple other interviews that I've done. The Business of the Business, which are you guys familiar with that one?
Yes.
Lavie, yeah, right. So certainly I'm aware that everybody's, definitely had some challenges in their Triller, fight relationship lately. Triller is going through a transitional period right now, and there was actually big movement today. I don't know how closely you guys pay attention, but they've been going through a merger and waiting for their merger to go through with a foreign financial company, and basically Triller's kind of been in a holding pattern for the last 6 months. I don't know. I guess I would say 6 to 9 months. Basically, Triller has been in a holding pattern, and a lot of the resources have been limited, and it's made things difficult and made things go slower than usual. Like, for instance, you've heard people comment about, delays in payments and whatever. And certainly, I understand that frustration, and I mean, it's not, I can't really comment too much on what anybody else's business is because I don't run anybody else's business. Yes. But I just know that a lot of Triller, like I said, is just, they're in a tough time themselves where a lot of the resources are tied up in this merger. However, the good news is, I just saw this about an hour ago. There was significant movement today. The merger appears to have been, and I'd have to reread this, but it looks like the merger was fully approved and they'll be going public. I want to say within the next couple of weeks, which basically means there's going to be, yes, which is significant for Triller and Fight, which basically means that there's going to be new resources and new capital coming into the company. So I think, people who have been, waiting or waiting either on money or on even, changes in their status, going forward. A lot of contracts come up for renewal or renegotiation, possibly even the GCWs, a lot of those talks have been on hold until this moment. So, based on what I'm reading just in the last couple hours, I see positive news and positive developments, and I think that will trickle down to the to Triller's independent wrestling partners. I think sooner than later.
Yeah, we're going to have to see where everything falls on that. Yeah, that was a good question, Brand. I didn't even think about that. I saw their P&L filing with their S1, and I'm going, okay. I'm seeing the year over year L's. We'll just say on that one, I'm going, okay. If they just picked up funding, that affects the IPO. That's, because the initial IPO was kind of so, and then seeking funding obviously gives them something to stand on. Good. And again, I mean, everybody's contract is different than your contract. I'm so sorry. Yeah. But your contract may be different than another company's contract. So they may be unhappy with their arrangement. That may not be the same arrangement that you have.
Yeah. Well, GCW's history with Triller and Fight is unlike anybody else's. I'm trying to be as humble and diplomatic as possible. GCW's streaming business the numbers that we've done are far and away ahead of everybody else's. And those numbers are just numbers. I mean, numbers are numbers. You can't, numbers don't lie. So, I think our position is slightly different than others. And our position also goes back, years before many of these companies even existed or were streaming. So, I think we come from a different, position than them, and it's really not fair to compare. It's not fair to any of us. It's not fair to
Yes.
those companies. It's not fair to GCW, and it's not fair to Fight to compare us. So yeah, but GCW undeniably, our the course of our history, um, the rise of GCW goes hand in hand with our relationship with Fight TV and Triller. So, and that those are just number driven facts. So
Yes.
before we were on Fight Plus, we were selling pay-per-views at numbers that nobody in indie wrestling had ever done before. So,
Yeah, I like Triller over the single pay-per-view purchases myself.
of course, I mean, when you're running 60 something events a year, it's hard to keep up if you have to buy pay-per-views. But yeah, this is the strategy that Triller has right now. They're trying to grow this base and trying to get as many subscribers as possible. And yeah, GCW is kind of like the face of their independent wrestling. So, and we're proud to be that face. So,
Brett, I'm going to go into this next match that Brant and I were going to go on just because I do have a question here. I was going to talk about Megan Bain versus Miyu Yamashita. This was Miyu Yamashita's 5th appearance at GCW since she debuted in April. I just have to say, she's been a hell of an acquisition. Where did that was this just TJPW and then backstage talk, or where did you and her really get a chance to kind of meet up for business?
Miyu is actually a big GCW fan. She follows it closely. And yeah, we'd exchanged messages several times before it finally worked out in terms of dates. But I mean, obviously she's so talented and she's such a good athlete and such a good wrestler and performer. Of course, we would love to have her, and we're happy to have her. And I think we're just kind of getting started on our relationship with her. But people like her, again, they come from TJPW and Japan, where they're so used to doing a certain style, and they're so busy, and they do they do what they do all the time. And coming to GCW is such a different change of pace that it's fun for them. It's refreshing, and it's an opportunity to kind of get out there and really have fun, outside of their comfort zone. And wrestlers like Miyu, they love it. They want to do it. So I think it's natural. She rules. So I think we're just getting started, and yeah, I mean, there's tentative plans in the works for her to be back. So if you're a fan of hers, stay tuned.
I wanted
Love
to
it.
ask, how much importance do you think that has with you guys kind of, I don't want to say rehabbing Maki, but kind of saving her experience that she had out here in the States? Because I know when she first came out here with AEW, she wasn't too happy with how that she was being presented there and her performance there and other stuff. But then I think when she showed up to GCW after that, she found like her love for America through GCW. And then that's why we haven't seen her really back on AEW. I think she did show up one more time since then. But what do you think how much do you think that influenced your guys' relationship with talents like me, you, and other talents with TJPW?
Well, right. No, I mean, it's like I said, it's a reputation. There's a reputation that builds, they know they can come here and have fun and test themselves, get out of their comfort zone, and just get out of what they're so used to doing, like, TV wrestlers, AEW wrestlers, whatever. you know, they all they're Mayu's job is wrestling for TJPW, but she's also a wrestler who loves to go out and wrestle, you know, outside of her job. You know, when AEW wrestlers, you know, they're TV wrestlers every week and they follow the script and they have 8 minutes with a, you know, a commercial break involved, and that's all good. That's their job, but they also love wrestling, you know, and going out there without limitations and without a script. And um, again, that's just like kind of the reputation that has been built for GCW for these guys is and girls, is just knowing they can come here and kind of open their playbook and you know, have a little fun. So it's the same thing with Maki and Mayu and anybody else in that line. You know, I think obviously Maki's had a tremendous amount of success with GCW, and yeah, I don't know what her relationship is like with AEW, but you know, she likes coming to the US and she likes doing GCW.
Very good. Anything else you want to ask, Brant, before I move on to any other questions? Because you know me, I'm structured.
No, you're good. I enjoyed the Megan Miyu match. I thought it's perfect matchup, both of them. I expected a suplex and throwing fest, and I kind of got that. It felt like two Tazes were in there, just throwing bodies all over the ring, and I enjoyed it. I loved how they just meshed well stylistically in this matchup.
I liked boots on the ground, 90s style brawl. It didn't have to go to you didn't have to go outside. You just had to handle business directly in the ring. And I thought that was good. Also, both women look strong, so a technical loss here would have meant nothing. You know, still both fan favorites, no losses whatsoever. I'm going to keep moving through the hardcore match. Cyclope and John Wayne Murdoch. I wanted to talk with you about this one, Brett. Cyclope, you know, singles record of 10-3, notable wins over Justice, Janela twice, G-Raver, Sakuda, won the TOS 3, going over Gage, Cologne, and then Miedo for the championship there. He says he's coming out and gunning for the GCW World Championship. I wanted to say great job putting him back into the spotlight where I feel like he belongs, and Miedo letting his brother walk forward, I think is absolutely wonderful.
Well, you know, I question Miedo's motivations. I don't like what he did, you know. That was
yeah.
I think he could have been a little more gracious about it. But Cyclope obviously is very super talented and very charismatic, very likable, and he's always been a fan favorite in GCW. And yeah, I mean, you heard what he said. His dream is to be GCW World Champion. So I'd love to see it. So yeah, I'm anxious to see if he can get there, and I'll be rooting for him. I certainly think he has what it takes. I mean, he's battle tested. He's beaten some of the best, and yeah, I mean, again, it's again another. I mean, you saw his promo, and you could feel his passion. You know,
Yes.
So that stuff again, I think that's contagious, and you know, people want to rally behind him.
Dude, cutting a promo in another language also not easy.
Yes. And that was legitimately him cutting a promo in a language that he does not speak. I mean, he yeah, I mean, that was so impressive. I was watching it as it unfolded, just thinking like, is he going to be able to get through this? And he did. He nailed it with you know, with all the emotion that we hoped for.
I think
expressive.
that short promo did a lot to further his hatred and story with Miedo. That's for sure. I loved it. Like that was I think so passionate.
Yeah, and I think we needed to hear from him. So that was cool.
Yes.
The Eddie Guerrero "I'm Your Poppy" shirt, I think that was like the cherry on the sundae kind of thing there. Let's see here. Kylie Ray and Brooke Havoc was the next one. From the West Coast point of view, we love Brooke Havoc out here. She does a damn good job. Solid wrestler, came out of a solid wrestling school, and she just has a good look to her. Especially just a good 80s vibe. Also, I've always picked up on her. And then Kylie Ray, phenomenal. So happy to see her back. If it wasn't in front of a Chicago crowd, I was looking for her to fully dive into the heel character that she always has in the last couple minutes of the match. But yeah, this whole thing was fantastic, man. And good pick on Brooke. I'm really happy that we have her for what, 6? Is it 6 shows?
I think 5
Roughly?
or 6. I
Yeah.
can't remember them off the top of my head, but she's Brooke's definitely somebody who's been on the radar, and you can see how hard she's been working and to improve her game. And I mean, she's very solid. We've been trying to line up dates for a while, and finally we had a little opening where we were able to not just get her in for one, but get her in for a handful, or a large handful, and kind of see what she's capable of in GCW. And I mean, I'm very confident that she's going to be a good fit. And yeah, I mean, she's very popular already, and she's good. She's good. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, this was a perfect matchup too. I loved this matchup. Was just perfectly. I those two I love, and I agree with what John was saying. If I think once we get Brooke out here at the West Coast, that the pop's going to be different pop out there, and she's been killing it, as you were saying, everywhere. I've seen her during the Collective in LA. I saw her at a couple shows outside of Collective weekend, and she impressed from the last time I saw her, like on AEW even, or some other locals I've seen, or not locals but independents I've seen her, and she's just constantly improving. And Kylie did a really good job of bringing the best out of her. It seemed like there was like an injury or something, like a kind of a not an abrupt ending, but seemed like something happened at the end. I was kind of wishing it would go a little bit longer, but I definitely enjoyed that match and can't wait to see Brooke for quite a few shows in GCW and what kind of matchup she gets.
Well, she'll be back next week, so I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
Also, just Kylie Ray was a freaking 32 years old up against a 24-year-old. I counted in a 10-second span, she hit a destroyer, a super kick, a Russian leg sweep into a crossface. And she was the older of the two at 32, so I'll give her credit for that one. Our winner in that one was Kylie Ray, less than a 9-minute match. I'd say for the ladies there, especially right before the main event, extremely well done. They knew their place on the card and did a damn good job.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have everything you said was on the money. Kylie Ray is awesome. She's so good and in amazing shape right now. Like she's ready for a run. Whatever run she wants to be on, she's ready for it.
Oh yeah, and every time we get her, I'm so happy to see her. Like as John was saying, she could control the crowd as a face or have the crowd hate her as a heel. She has it all, and she does a really good job of going back and forth and doing whatever's needed for that night. We had a question here from the chat from Frank. With the large number of great female talent coming through the curtain these days, has the thought of a women's championship ever came up? And I think we kind of discussed this a little bit last time, but if you want to give like another short answer, you should. Well, maybe not. Maybe we got his tongue. I think you're muted, Brent. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go.
It's weird. Anytime I minimize the screen, it minimizes me, or it mutes me out, I think. What can you repeat that?
Yeah, with a large number of women, great women talent coming through the curtain these days, has the thought of a women's championship ever came up? And I know that we discussed this a little bit before on here, but I didn't know if you wanted to give a short answer.
No, we don't have men's championships and we don't have women's championships.
All right. So I'll just run into the main event here of GCW's Live Fast, Die Young. This was for the GCW World title. It was a death match. Mance Warner was our champion versus Gringo Loco. I wanted to first in this one mention big love to referee Max Recon, who's going to be undergoing surgery soon. This was his last match to referee until he's all healed up. So his welcome back will be beautiful, and all our best goes out to Max until he's back to 100%.
Yes, get well, Max.
So Gringo's last shot at the GCW World Championship was on June 23rd, 2023 against Blake Christian at Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. He's home again for another challenge, and this was a beautiful place to do it. Almost a 23-minute match we had here.
Yeah.
So,
This is a match we've been calling for a long time. I know. I think when this whole Effie and Manson, when I was talking about the world title scene, I said like I wanted one of the GCW/regulars originals to win it and go through and fight and defend that belt against regulars. And this defense number one from Mance Warner is exactly up my wheelhouse, and I know up yours. I know we were talking about having
up yours.
Ringo. Right? I know. I just said that. I was like, oh, that came out bad.
Shit,
As you were saying, getting some gold on Gringo and GCW is a goal of yours, and I think ours. We've been really rooting for it, and this was a match that I couldn't have asked for anything better. I got my GCW regulars fighting for GCW and keeping it away from Blake at the moment, and I loved this match. I loved how bloody and everywhere it went. It just felt like a old GCW main event that when I first started watching got me into it, and I loved it. It was perfect main event. Talia Hall was amazing for it, and Chicago got a very good send home gift for the main event.
Brett, I'm going to ask you, with Mance Warner has going around the ring and ruffling feathers, I have to say that's probably been a good problem.
Well,
I'm asking you after Chicago, I know, but I mean, relatively though. I mean,
I like that. I like that people have feelings. I like that people care enough or feel one way or another enough about any of the wrestlers to be that into it or feel that passionate. Be passionate in their feelings towards them. So yes, that is a good thing. Whether or not I like the beer throwing and
right,
the extracurriculars, as a promoter, I don't love that, but
At least he hasn't broken any chairs as of late. I mean, that's a good
no,
start.
he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good about that.
So after the UCC, there were a lot of fans that contacted us, and we talked about the fact that there were so many things being thrown in. Yeah, it almost became a little too commonplace, was what a lot of the fans were saying, and it can become a little dangerous if you're in the front rows there if you're not careful. But yeah, I understand the spirit. I think that's what a lot of fans said, is they understand the spirit, but at the same time, if you overdo it, then it doesn't have the same spirit.
No, for sure. And I think LA crowds, every crowd is a little different, and I think the LA fans, by the time they get to the 7th, 8th, 9th match, they may have had 1 or 2 or even 3 buckets of beer by then, and perhaps it's I don't know. They seem to be a little more into the beverages than any of the other markets. And not that it's an excuse, but I think that could explain perhaps their over exuberance at times. But I agree, though. I think there's definitely a line that you don't want to cross. And if it happens every time, then it's not, it begins to look more like people just want to throw stuff for the sake of throwing stuff, as opposed to, feeling a certain type of way. And absolutely, first and foremost, regardless of the motivation, whether it's because they don't like the wrestler or if they've just had one too many drinks, absolutely, I don't want to see anybody getting hit. Nobody wants to see, anybody at ringside, fan or wrestler or referee or staff or anybody. Nobody, should have to, duck for cover, really. So, yeah, there's definitely like a weird fine line there. And maybe we'll say something before the next show just to kind of remind people that, this isn't it's not target practice, it's a wrestling show. So.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to mention here the champion Mance Warner. He's now approaching 100 days with that title very soon. He's already tagged in 15 title defenses, but this one was special, Brant, because this was the one where we just had one championship, no BS in between. It was just Mance and his title. And I just want to say also, great job by keeping that title on Mance, because I feel like he's the one with the momentum right now. And I don't know. I listened and I shared the audio clip of, I blanked on his name, but he loves Mance Warner. I listened to his podcast from WCW. Damn, John. Cornette. Anyway, though, from not Cornette, from
That's why I was
WCW.
like, what?
Bischoff?
Like, what are you doing there?
Bischoff. Yeah, Bischoff's show.
Okay.
He had a lovely little thing to say about Manson. He really did enjoy him. Said he was extremely smart, good talker, and he liked where his head was in the business. Yeah, so I think he only slipped him $20 for that, but it was still a good thing to say.
Yeah, I didn't know Bischoff was watching. Interesting.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's see, 23 minutes. I'm trying to see if there's anything else since we have Brett on the line here. I don't want to sit here and I will go over the one fun part of the match. I have Gringo goes down. His daughter, we'll call her Hia del Gringo Loco, jumps in the ring. Mance isn't taking her very serious. She smacks him in the face. Mance stands up, staring at her. He knocks down Max. He's got Hia by the hair. Gringo hits the low blow from behind. Gringo hits the sky twister. He goes for the pin and Max is out. Hia then wakes up the referee. He gets a 2 count when Jimmy comes from behind and pulls Max out of the ring, gets on the ropes, threatens Hia, grabs her, places her on the top rope. This is where Hia hits a Hurricane Rana on Jimmy. The crowd popped huge with GCW chants. I'm just going to fast forward to the winner here on with Mance Warner. This had to have been Gringo's doing, but this was a fantastic job, and his daughter was just as cute as all get out, and she was just fantastic.
I love the lead up of Mance Warner going after all the kids at all these previous shows leading up to this one where, hey, you fucked with the wrong kid now, and now you're going to get your payback. I loved like that build up to it. That spot was awesome. It made sense. Oh, I guess Brett didn't like it too much.
He didn't like that part. Yeah, you can switch it back here. We'll get him back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I loved it. Like I was saying, I just love that main event. It's something that I've been asking for whenever whoever became the next champion. I was hoping it'd be a regular, and I hope they defended against all the regulars and just keep all of us in the same loop. But yeah, with Gringo's daughter getting involved, I just loved how it was payback for all the other kids that Mance Warner made cry over these last couple shows. I loved how it all weaved in together.
That was a good one for sure. That was I always wonder how well it translates through the camera, but the energy in the building for that match was second to none. It was fever pitch start to finish, with Gringo's daughter getting in there and just from the entrances and all the heat that Mance brought with him. And all the close calls and false finishes or whatever the kayfabe term is. I don't know, but it was just God, that was so good. It was really good match, and Mance has been having great matches, and this was a great match with extra on top, and it was fun to watch. I mean, I ended up down towards ringside just because I ended up down there, and I just was watching it as a fan. It was so cool. Like, just the fans were just, I'm just thinking back to it. It was so fun to be there for it.
It's everything that you want the fans to be, engaged and
Definitely.
happy, Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think Mance is being like a strong champion. He's like restoring that feeling in me as like this old school fan. Like he's doing a very good job of getting the heat on him, raising his opponents and getting the crowd behind them. And obviously really easy to do with Gringo in Chicago. But I just really think Mance is restoring that old school heat feeling and why I love GCW. And I think, as you were saying, that he's a great champion as of right now. And I can't wait to see what keeps on going as his role as champion keeps on going.
And I just want to mention too, real quick, that it was kind of muddied at the end there, but I think I counted 448 days of title defenses for Blake Christian too, which was a fantastic job.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny, or it's weird that I don't know what the term is, but Blake had a very impressive run, in my opinion, and I think he almost evolved as a wrestler throughout his reign. But his match with Zilla in Chicago was probably my favorite Blake match of the last 448 days. Mm-hmm. So I think it was cool to see that there's still, I think Blake still has a lot more to offer, and I guess we'll see where that goes. And I think, I think, just as an observer and as the promoter, I feel like, and I know there's a lot more that Blake has to show us. So I'm anxious to see the next step.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying earlier, Brett. That Blake match felt like it was a statement match of, hey, I'm not done with this world title. You're going to see me back. I'm going to earn it back, and I'm going to put on performances where you're not going to be able to not talk about me being in that title scene again. That was a really strong get back match for him after losing that ladder match. I loved it. And I know everybody was all happy about Zilla, but for me, that was just like Blake was on another level. But Zilla being able to match Blake's performance in that match was crazy. And I brought up your commentary. I think that raised my energy, and to seeing how you got into it made me get into it that much more. And that crowd as all night, they enhanced every single match as well. I thought that was a show stealer of a match in this card, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And Zilla continues to get better and better.
You guys are just, I don't know how you're doing that. Like that guy's only had so many matches, and you got him out there in 17-minute bangers. And then I think it was a 14-minute before that. It's just, he doesn't look like a rookie. It's just his natural.
Yeah, he is. I mean, a lot of it is, obviously being in there with good opponents helps, but he's still, I want to say he's at 20 matches now in his career, 20, 21.
Yeah.
A lot of people on their 20th match, are still figuring out how to take a body slam or give a suplex. So, a lot of this, as much as I would love to take credit for this, a lot of this here is, he was born with it. He was just born with it. Natural ability, and it's in his blood. Literally, it's in his blood. So, he has a very bright future.
Dude, just running the ropes. He don't even run the ropes like a guy who's had 20 matches. He just completely natural.
Absolutely. No, he moves like a wrestler. So he's a superior athlete. That's the other thing too. Like I don't even think I think he's so raw. Like imagine when he learns how to train in the gym like a wrestler. Imagine when he really, right now, again, he's raw. I mean, he's learning all of this on the go. Once he figures it out, I don't even know what that's going to look like.
What was your thoughts on his tag match in LA when he teamed with Nick Gage? Like, to me, that seemed like the moment it clicked with him. Like, hey, I love this shit. I love GCW. The crowd was fully behind him, I think, really for the first time in that matchup. I think that was kind of what gave him the confidence to showcase what he's been doing as of now, or at least one of the steps. But to me, on camera and being in person, seeing it live, I just felt his energy was just full of confidence at such a young age.
Of course. I mean, that match was like a crash course, GCW crash course, being in there with Nick, and you get to see, kind of, you get the full GCW experience when you're in there with Nick, whether he's your partner or he's your opponent, and being, in front of the crowd with him. It's a different animal. And if you need a confidence boost, that would be one way to get it right there.
Yeah, to me, just seeing it as a fan, you just see some moments where like athletes and I've seen wrestlers, they click and hey, this is where I want to be. This is what I really kind of fell in love with wrestling, was for moments like this, and to see him kind of get that. And for me in LA was really cool to kind of see, and how the fans just took to him real quick that night. And he's been destroying it and killing it every single match too. It's been really cool seeing his progression.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
And he's not hit his peak yet either. And then wait until he gets in front of those WWE weights, with those WWE trainers.
Exactly.
And they bring out the best of him.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just kind of put us towards the end here, because I don't want to take too much of your time, Brad. I know it's not too early over there on your side of town at 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just go ahead and announce to the listeners real quick. There are no GCW shows next weekend. We have nothing to review. So luckily we have a lot of good friends who are able to stop by and say hello. Because of that, next week we'll be sitting down with one called Manders. This is going to be a nice interview. It's just going to be the three of us. We're going to try to enjoy ourselves and get to know the man a little bit. He's been on an incredible rise in GCW, and it's obvious he found more of who he was, and it's made him a stronger wrestler most recently. So we can't wait to talk with him next week. And is there any other announcements you just wanted to mention before we jumped out of here, Brant?
I just wanted to quickly ask Brett, I guess one more time since we got him, since we were talking about it, the team of Manders and Sawyer. Is that something we could kind of see moving forward? They seem to be a lot of fan favorites during that match.
Well, they seem to have good chemistry, and you know, I don't know if that's a long-term thing or if it's a, you know, or if it's I don't know where that's going to go. But obviously, if you know, if the fans are into it and if the matches are good, then you know, I think I mean, it would only make sense for it to continue. But I mean, I think it's too soon to tell. You know, I mean, I think it's definitely so what we've seen so far is good. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more of that.
Also, Sam Stackhouse just said Fuego House versus Violence is Forever.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Sam and Fuego are a good team.
Oh, yeah.
Sam also just said, I can speak from experience. After being in the ring with him, that Zilla is a natural.
Yeah.
So do you want to just keep this one short, Brent? We'll close it down kind of thing and just leave it here? Or were there anything else? I don't like taking a lot of time from, you know what I mean?
I'm the exact same. I don't want to take Brett's time either. I know it's late over there, and he hopped on. And thank you once again, Brett, for always hopping on. Is there any last thing maybe you want to mention or kind of promote real fast?
There's almost 1,300 loyal fans in here at midnight. So if you have anything you'd love to say, we love you. By all means, it's all yours, brother.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have anything else to announce, but I do just want to say, you know, thanks everybody for caring. You know, 1,300 people is a lot. I can't imagine that there are this many people at 12:30 Eastern time or even 9:30 West Coast time that are spending all this time just to listen and talk about GCW. That means a lot to me. Yeah, it's just so cool. And thanks for the support, you know, for all the years. And like I said, I think we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I hope, you know, I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody, and I hope everybody will stay along for the ride. And yeah, I don't know, it's going to be cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Brad. I know your time's valuable, and every time we get you on for 5 minutes or for hours, we do appreciate it so much, man. Yes. Thank you again.
Yeah, let's do it again soon.
Now, if you could just stay with us for a second, I'm going to close the show, and then I just want to talk to you for a minute on the back end, Brett, when no one's around. You ready to do this? Thank you so much for all the listeners for stopping in tonight. Thank you so much for Brett for coming in tonight. We had another, well, this was a short show. We only had one show to cover. So
well, and we're giving the fans what they wanted. They voted on 1 and 2 hours. We're an hour 38 minutes, and we got the good numbers for it too. Then yeah, I do like that one. Yeah, thank you again, everybody, for hopping in. Means a lot, obviously, with us at Stackhouse. Thanks for making time from all your drives all around the country and always checking us out. We do appreciate it. Alan, Reed, great one, everyone. Thank you all again, man. Thank you guys so much.
All right, let's close it out like we always do, Brant.
Well, we got the man on, so we got to get it right this time. At least we got to get it right this time here. Okay,
we fuck it up every time. All right,
here we go.
Long.
Oh,
we always fuck it up.
Live GCW.
Have a great night, guys. Love you.